just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want. Sky is the limit.
What's going on? It's your boy Loren The Barber, and I'm back with another episode. Today, I'm going to show you how to apply a permanent color into a man's beard. Now, the first thing that you want to do is to do a consultation with your client. Just take the color of choice, whether it's yours or their preference, and put a small dot somewhere inconspicuous on their face to see if their skin can handle the color of choice. Definitely if you're using Bigen. In the directions in Bigen, it says not to use it on the client's face. Nonetheless, a lot of clients can handle Bigen on their face, and it's their preference. Regardless, whatever color of choice that you use, and after you do the consultation, make sure that your client signs a waiver. I'm going to be using Bigen today. I've applied this on this client's face several times over the years, and he's never had an allergic reaction. So when using Bigen, however much of the powder you choose to use, I'm going to use a half a bottle for a client's beard this size. So in the clear container that comes in the box of Bigen, I will go up to the half mark and fill it with water, and then I mix that with the half of the Bigen powder. Make sure that you stir it up real well. Sometimes it starts off brown, even though that you're using black. I'm using 59 is the number, is black, and sometimes it just takes time to oxidize. I would say wait a minute until it starts to turn dark before you apply it on the client's hair, because sometimes when you put it on and it's still brown, it doesn't take as well, from my experience. As you see, my client's hair is already cut. I gave him a full haircut with a lineup. It makes it a lot easier for me to apply the color along the lines that I've already made, so that it won't stain his skin and then make it hard for me to try to adjust it back into a straight line. I always start off coloring the outside lines of the beard, the top and the bottom. I've got this brush from the Just for Men box, actually, and that's actually a good color as well, the liquid one that you mix the developer and the regular color. But I've used that brush to cover the outside lines, and when I go around where the taper is, if you have a taper on your client, I feather it in as if I'm painting it to taper as well. I blend it with the color. My rule of thumb is that the color should look how it's gonna look once you wash it off as you're painting it on. So it should look the same way painted on as it's gonna look once it's washed off. As you see here, I use the bigger brush to cover the inside of the beard. So the smaller brush for the outside lines of the beard, and then a bigger brush to cover the inside of the beard because it covers more space. So it makes for a much more efficient job. Next, I use the razor to go over the color, go over the lines with the color to make sure that the color is razor sharp. So because remember, the color is applied to make for a more full line, for a more full lineup, so it appears as if it's hair if you do it in a natural way. Nonetheless, it's for the appearance of a real sharp line of the natural hair. So it depends on how much of a sloppy job or not that you did. You may want to start with the razor as soon as you apply it. Nonetheless, I stayed within the lines pretty good, so I just kept going until I was finished, and then I cleaned it up with the razor. I didn't use the razor before when I did the haircut because I knew I was going to use the razor again once I applied the Bigen. So as you see, I'm cleaning up his cheeks with the razor as well, along with the lineup. Yeah, you don't want to keep going over a person's face with the razor, and it end up causing abrasions and irritation and stuff like that. You want to be real careful when you're using a razor. Now, a trick that I always use is I have the client hold my hand mirror up to his face, and I get behind him and look in the mirror to make sure everything is symmetrical. if you went to any good barber school, they would always tell you that the mirror doesn't lie. A lot of guys like to use the big mirror on their back bar. I just like to get a closer look, so I have my client hold up the mirror. You may have done a great job with the clippers and lining the client's face up. Nonetheless, once you add the color, the job that it's going to do is to make the beard stand out. So you need to take a second look to make sure everything is symmetrical, because now everything is standing out and it gives you a better view of the lineup that you did. And you go back over it, sharpen it up if need be, and just make sure everything looks symmetrical. Now what I'm gonna do here is, I see some spots that needs to be cleaned up and filled in, and as you see, I'm feathering it in at the top, trying to make sure that it's still a tapered look as I'm putting it on thicker. And when I'm cleaning up the lines, you don't want to rush your client out. Of course, we want to do efficient cuts, and we want to get as many clients in as possible to make more money. Nonetheless, remember, the best promotion is word of mouth. So the better job that you do on a person, and they're getting compliments, and they're out and about, when they're out and about, they can tell your name to the people that's asking about their perfect hairstyle. So, without doing too much and going over the top, make sure you can get it as perfect as possible, and leave the client happy, get him some compliments. So now I'm done painting it on. You guys tell me what you think. I just covered the top of the mustache and just faded it to the middle of the mustache. I don't think it looks good when you cover the full mustache. I don't think that's necessary. We just want it to look natural. I believe it looks natural. When I wash it out, it's gonna look the same way. Now next, what you want to do is let your client use your blow dryer to blow dry his beard. You don't want to do it yourself because you don't know what it feels like, and you can end up burning your client. So you always have the client use the dryer himself, and for at least 30 minutes is how long you want to let him dry it. And sometimes it takes longer, depending on how much hair is on the client's face. After the 30 minutes, just put your finger in the beard all the way to his skin and see if it's still wet. If it's still wet, let him keep drying, because if he has gray hair, definitely it'll take longer to process. Sometimes that gray hair is stubborn, so just make sure that you give it its correct processing time. Once your client's beard is dry, then you have him lean over the shampoo bowl, or he could sit down in the barber chair and press his chest against the sink and put his head in the shampoo bowl. And guys, I apologize, I forgot to push record while I was shampooing his beard, so I don't have. Nonetheless, the first thing that you do is you rinse his beard off with cold water to close the cuticle and lock the color in. And once you lock the color in, then you shampoo the face with a warm water. And I suggest a sulfate-free shampoo so that you won't strip the color. You only need to shampoo it once. Then use a conditioner to soften up the beard and put all of the good nutrients back in there. You only need to condition it once. And then you dry the face off, and voila, there you go. Now here's the finished results, guys. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment in the comment box. I think it turned out well. If you think it turned out well, make sure you share this video. Thank you.
Just